Wind makes you feel inside when you know you about to get it. You don't know the feeling. Thinking about a million. Watching it materialize right in front of those who win it. Take it from you and you realize it ain't all about the digits. About the wind makes you feel inside when you know you about to get it. Welcome to the audiobook. My name is King Hoodie, and I will be presenting you with Materialize, my top 10 manifestations. This book is about the top 10 dream experiences, possessions, and life-changing moments I've manifested using imagination, hustle, and the law of attraction. Each situation was radically different from the last. No one area stands out as possible or impossible. I know fully and completely the power of these techniques and will continue learning and expanding on them for the rest of my life. I did not create any of this knowledge. It was taught to me secondhand by incredible mentors such as Napoleon Hill, Kevin Trudeau, and Earl Nightingale. Look up any one of these great men and you will see why so many millionaires credit them for much of their success. This book is not for people who have no imagination. Like Albert Einstein said, the imagination is the preview to life's upcoming attractions. I am no master at this stuff yet. I just want to share what I've been able to create thus far in my life. If you follow me online, listen to my music, or are just a fan of the law of attraction, I'm sure you will get much value from these testimonies. Read this with an open mind, and the sky's the limit on what you can and will create for yourself. I'll see you at the top. Chapter 1, Love and Girlfriend. Anyone who knows me well knows that I'm a sucker for love. I don't know why, but I am. I watch anime, action movies, and read dope books all the time. But no matter what the topic is, I always find myself 1,000 times more interested when there's a great love story in it. The second a fiery girl with a lot of heart and a no-nonsense personality shows up, I can't wait to see who she falls in love with. I'm sure this can be traced back to my childhood somewhere, but I don't know or care enough right now to figure that out. What is important is that for as long as I can remember, watching an incredible, action-packed love story on TV was my favorite thing to do. Love has always been important to me. In middle school, I was anything but a ladies' man. I was young, goofy, uncoordinated, and had no game at all. Most unfortunately, however, I was broke. So my outfits and haircuts were never on point. Needless to say, all the pretty and cool girls paid me no mind. Sometimes they even ranked on me. By the time high school rolled around, my finances were still laughable. But I grew a few inches, gave more attention to my appearance, and began getting noticed by more girls. Still though, they weren't the girls that I had my eye on. I began unconsciously using the law of attraction years before I ever knew it was a thing. At night, before I went to bed, I would put on my headphones, listen to my favorite songs on my MP3 player, and imagine the perfect girl for me. At the time, I would just use the faces of the girls who I liked most at the school. I was 15 years old with no license, but I would imagine pulling out of the driveway of a nice house, driving a nice car, and spending quality time with a beautiful girl in my passenger seat. I imagined she would be all about me, have a beautiful smile, and be very loving and wholesome. Someone my family would love and who would love me just as much as I did her. I would lay in this state for 45 minutes to 2 hours, most times falling asleep in pure bliss within my imagination and the love I was experiencing with the girl of my dreams. Literally, of my dreams. Side note, I never actually approached the girls whom I fantasized about. I was much too afraid. However, knowing what I know now about how the universe works, I'm sure that had I put myself out there and asked her out, she would have surely said yes, even if it was just a date. Time passed. I eventually graduated high school. I became more self-aware and got my swag together. 4 years lapsed from the time when I first began manifesting my perfect girl. In fact, I had forgotten all about that. Assuming I was just wasting my time daydreaming about girls instead of actually going out and pursuing women I was interested in. At age 19, I found myself working at the front desk of a gym. Now, this is a job that brings you into constant communication with hundreds of people every day, which is great for your social skills. As you can imagine, I got to know quite a few beautiful women there, but no one truly special. After an awkward encounter with one girl in particular, I actually swore off women for a while and vowed to be celibate. That same week, a girl walked into the gym that would change my life forever. Enter Chantel Latrice Moreno, 5'5", brown eyes, professional attitude giver. Trust me when I tell you she didn't seem to be much to look at first. She wore baggy basketball shorts, a cut t-shirt, and mismatched socks tucked into worn-out basketball sneakers. A tomboy. She was extremely quiet and antisocial at the gym, which caught my attention. I intended to speak to her one day, but every time I saw her, I heard a voice in my head that I had never heard before. Tell me, don't. Be patient. Which was strange, but I listened. It wasn't until my third time seeing her that we actually spoke. I was working at the front desk, and she just happened to be sitting in the lobby, which most people didn't do. After seeing her sit there for nearly 45 minutes, I decided to call her over. I asked for her number, to which she replied, "Why don't you just give me your number so I can hit you up whenever I feel like it?" LOL. With a smile, I gave it to her. 2 days later, she called me, and we spoke on the phone for nearly 3 hours. From the beginning, our communication was extremely natural. It felt like we knew each other for years. That following weekend, we went out on our first date. Towards the end of the night, I leaned in for a kiss. When she very gracefully denied me, I knew I needed to know everything about this girl. We started hanging out. Then, more frequently, eventually forming a strong friendship. A friendship that turned into a powerful romance. That was almost 10 years ago. And to this day, we're still madly in love. She's my best friend. We've gone through everything you can imagine and would still choose each other. Now, here's the incredible part. 4 years earlier, I would lay in bed at night listening to my favorite songs, fantasizing about the girl of my dreams. At the time, all I would experience was music, her, and the feelings of love and happiness with someone who was beautiful and warm in the passenger seat of my car. The first time we ever hung out was in front of her house. She was actually sitting in the passenger seat of my car while we talked and listened to music. And I felt the exact same feelings I would feel every night while imagining the girl of my dreams. She has proven to be more than I could have ever hoped for in a partner. At the time, I didn't know when I would experience such a powerful love and attraction like this. But I knew one day it would happen. And it not only happened, it happened exactly how I imagined it would. She was my first manifestation.